All right, so on the previous episode, we talked about March Madness for men's bracket revealed from Sunday. So we'll continue to do that, some of it today, as today is officially March Madness. So let's see what's coming up on JDB's morning cap. And we say good morning. Welcome to JDB's morning cap. And today is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2026. So we're really excited about that. So also today, it is officially March Madness for men's. Women's March Madness starts tomorrow. I will discuss it in just a couple of moments. So yesterday it was an exciting show. Today it's gonna be even better show today. So we'll get through the topics throughout today's morning cap. All right, so let's start with the women's March Madness bracket revealed. They revealed it last Sunday as well. So we'll find out. Let's start with the Fort Worth Region 1. UConn is number one in this tournament of women's tournament. It'll be UConn number one, take on number 16, UTSA. Then you got number 8, Iowa State, take on number 9, Syracuse. And then you got number 5, Maryland, take on number 12, Murray State. And then you got number 4, North Carolina, take on number 13, Western Illinois. And then you got number 6, Notre Dame, takes on number 11, Fairfield. Number 3, Ohio State, takes on number 14, Howard. And then you got number 7, Illinois, take on number 10, Colorado. And then number 2, Vanderbilt, takes on number 15, High Point. That's the Fort Worth Region 1. Sacramento Region 4 is number 1, South Carolina, take on number 16, to be determined. You got number 8, Clemson, take on number 9, USC, stands for University of Southern California. Number 5, Michigan State, take on number 12, Colorado State. Number 4, Oklahoma, take on number 13, Idaho. Number 6, Washington, take on number 11, South Dakota State. You got number 3, TCU, take on number 14 of University of San Diego. You got number 7, Georgia, take on number 10, to be determined. You got number 2, Iowa, take on number 15, FDU. And then Sacramento Region 2, it'll be number 1, UCLA, take on number 16, California Baptist. You got number 8, Oklahoma State, take on number 9, Princeton. Number 5, Ole Miss, take on number 12, Gonzaga. Number 4, Minnesota, take on number 13, Green Bay. And then you got number 6, Baylor, take on number 11, to be determined. And then you got number 3, Duke, take on number 14, Charleston. And then you got number 7, Texas Tech, take on number 10, Villanova. You got number 2, LSU, take on number 15, Jacksonville. That's the Sacramento Region 2. And then last but not least, Fort Worth Region 3. Number 1, Texas will take on number 16, to be determined. Number 8, Oregon will take on number 9, Virginia Tech. Number 5, Kentucky will take on number 12, JMU, stands for James Madison University. Number 4, West Virginia, take on number 13, Miami, Ohio. You got number 6, Alabama, take on number 11, Rhode Island. Number 3, Louisville, take on number 14, Vermont. Number 7, NC State University Wolfpack will take on number 10, Tennessee. Finally, we have number 2, Michigan Wolverines taking number 15, Holy Cross. That is your regions. Let's take a look who are the women's first 4. Sacramento Region 2 has number 11, Nebraska, taking number 11, Richmond. That's tomorrow. The winner will face Baylor on March 20th. And then you got number 16, Missouri State, take on number 16, Stephen F. Austin. And the winner will face Texas in the 4th Ward Region 3 on the 20th. And then on March 19th, Sacramento Region 4, first 4, has number 16, Southern versus 16, Samford. And the winner will face South Carolina in the first round on March 21st. And then Sacramento Region 4, same thing. It'll be number 10, Virginia, take on number 10, ASU, stands for Arizona State University. And the winner will face Georgia on the 21st. So that is the women's first 4. March Madness for women starts tomorrow. Who are the first 4 out for women's March Madness? Mississippi State, BYU, Utah, and North Dakota State. So, who was the biggest snub in the women's tournament? So, to me, it's got to be BYU. I mean, BYU is the biggest snub, but big season for BYU, 22-11. So, how did they miss the tournament? How BYU missed the tournament? Despite the fact they went 22-11 overall, they just the BYU Cougars women's basketball team went 9-9 in the Big 12 play. In quad one games, they went 0-5 in quad one games. They suffered handful of losses against quad 3 and quad 4 opponents. So BYU missed the cut. Unfortunately, it's sad to go through this. It's really tough to go through it. It is really tough to go through this for BYU after a remarkable season. So if that's the case, then it would have been proven to be the difference at this time around. But all the deciding factors for BYU, they didn't get much of a chance to get as strong finishers. So the next biggest snub that they should have been in the tournament, who else was out of the tournament? Utah Utes went 19-12 in the regular season. but they finished losing 5 in the final 8 games, so cost of their tournament chances. The reason why they were out of the tournament contention, it's the late game execution has been an issue in each of its last 12 games. They had some blown leads. They end up losing the game. The offense just hasn't got some big shots what they're looking for. But Utah is a talented women's basketball team. And if that's the case, then they'll expand their differences. But if you weren't even ready for that, it's just because Utah would have had something that to be a different story right now. Who else missed the tournament that regressed it down the stretch? Mississippi State finished the season 18-13, which is pretty decent, but they end up 5-11 in the SEC play. They lost to South Carolina and LSU, some top tier opponents. And it's also due to late season collapse. So Mississippi State missed the tournament because the defense just didn't execute the way they were. And then finally, South Dakota. Oh, it's North Dakota State. North Dakota State missed the turn. North Dakota State is the first 4 out. North Dakota State. North Dakota State went 28-4, but unfortunately did not make the tournament. They won 28 games, and North Dakota State should be the biggest snub in the tournament. North Dakota State should be the biggest snub because if you would have beat South Dakota, you would have been in. Because North Dakota State have not played any quad one games or actually the strength of schedule for North Dakota State is not quite as strong as it was, unfortunately. So that's going to go through your head in this one. All right, so let's move on here. Let's stay with women's March Madness. Who are your biggest upsets in the women's tournament this year? So if I would get to pick, some of these upsets in women's college basketball, who has a chance to move on to several rounds, I like James Madison beating Kentucky in the Fourth Ward region. And then because I think James Madison can be physical on both sides of the floor and try to get the things done in the first few rounds. And then my other upset I can throw out right now, this is an interesting one. I like Gonzaga beating Ole Miss in the Sacramento region too, because I think Gonzaga has so many great shooters, because it feels like there's a lot of things going well at the plate. I mean, Gonzaga is a very good three-point shooting team. I mean, that they can knock down threes time and time again. But this is what happened. It's about every step of the way you can be in the college basketball women's NCAA tournament. This is a different story. You're going against it, so you can make it out a little bit. So this is what it looks like here. All right, so let's see what's coming up on JDB's morning cap. So we finish our first segment of this morning cap called Women's March Madness Bracket Revealed. Come next, where is Justin Fields headed? We'll also have to find out. And then KD versus LeBron, part 1. Who won the contest last night in Houston? And then men's March Madness begins today. It will start off with 4 teams are playing with first 4 today. And then Spurs battles the Clippers in Inglewood. So we will talk all of that at here. So as it develops up to, oh, by the way, today is a World Baseball Classic Championship game. Hopefully Team USA wins. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and yesterday it was in development story. Yesterday we had breaking news. The Chiefs have acquired Justin Fields, exchange their draft pick, exchange for a 6th round draft pick. The 6th round draft pick goes to the New York Jets. So, which means that Justin Fields will be in Kansas City to back up for Patrick Mahomes at the very least. So, here's my question right now. Should Justin Fields be a week 1 starter if Mahomes doesn't make it to week 1 healthy on time? Well, the answer is yes. And as for Justin Fields, this is their 3rd team over the last 3 years, by the way. After he played. So Justin Fields was drafted in 2022. Right? No, 2021. My bad. He only played 3 seasons with the Bears. And then 3 teams in 3 years. Steelers, 2024. Jets last year, and now Chiefs this year. So 3 teams in 3 years for Justin Fields. So Justin Fields in Chicago didn't work out. Justin Fields in Pittsburgh didn't quite work out as much, and then the Jets thing didn't work out. Hopefully, the Chiefs will fit. How big of a fit will Justin Fields would be heading to 2026? How Chiefs can be contenders even without Patrick Mahomes to start the season? They need Justin Fields. Just become a game manager, not turn the football over. You got Kenneth Walker as the running back. So the Kansas City Chiefs, nobody's going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs to win a Super Bowl. Even if Patrick Mahomes gets healthy, nobody picks the Chiefs to win a Super Bowl because it feels like they don't trust him. They don't trust that much. But Justin Fields, if I tell anyone you've been talking about him, you say, hey, I want him to play longer than Mahomes. If Mahomes is going to be out extending a period of time. So now the best case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at their quarterback depth chart with Mahomes out. It'll be Justin Fields and Chris Oladokun. Oladokun has made a couple of starts. Last year, Minshew had one start. Oladokun played 3 games in 2 starts. Last year, Minshew got hurt, and then Oladokun took over the rest of the game and rest of the year. So they'll try to find a solution. There could be some competition between Fields and Oladokun. So they need someone from the Oladokun from the practice squad. He wasn't in the full-time roster. So right now, if Mahomes is out to start the season, it will be Justin Fields, Chris Oladokun, and Jake Haener. Both Oladokun and Haener will try to fight for the number 2 quarterback depth chart if Mahomes doesn't start the season on time. If Mahomes does get healthy, Justin Fields will be the number 2 quarterback definitively, which means Justin Fields will have to play some preseason games. So, which means there is a competition for the number 2 quarterback if Mahomes doesn't start the season on time. So if Mahomes missed roughly 2 to 3 months of the season, what record would I give the Chiefs? Even Justin Fields, he's won some games. Let's keep that in mind. Justin Fields has won some games, but there's no easy way to say this. They're probably going to win 6 games as well. They'll probably go 6-11 again, because you would have think about the Chiefs. Chiefs have not missed the playoffs for the 2nd consecutive year in a row. If Patrick Mahomes made at least one start and then ended up missing the playoffs, that counts too. They cannot afford to sell Patrick Mahomes the entire 2026 and 2027 season. So they cannot sit out Patrick Mahomes. And that's the worst thing they can do, is sitting out Patrick Mahomes. And that's that. The Kansas City Chiefs would make everything else happen, and they can be making a huge difference. But this is what just happened right now. You had Travis Kelce, 14th season, could be his final year. I mean, Andy Reid just need someone who need to step up. So let's say Mahomes doesn't start on time, then Justin Fields will be the number 1 quarterback depth chart, temporary, with Mahomes being injured. And then number 2 quarterback is wide open competition. Oladokun versus Haener. So who has to fight for their spots? If Mahomes does get healthy and he'll start week one on time, then Mahomes will be a starter for sure. And then Justin Fields will be number two quarterback. And then number three spot is up for grabs. Will it be Oladokin or Hayner? Whoever wins the number three, whoever wins the third string quarterback battle will earn a spot or earn an opening roster spot. So quarterback depth chart for the Chiefs is so crucial, especially with health, with their starting quarterback. Well, by the way, Mahomes is a two-time league MVP, three-time Super Bowl MVP, and three-time Super Bowl champion as well, including winning back-to-back. And Patrick Mahomes is one of the winningest quarterbacks in Chiefs history. But Patrick Mahomes has the most wins by an active quarterback in the NFL since he became the starter. And Mahomes has thrown the most passing touchdowns by any of the active quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, he's having an incredible, illustrious career for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, there's no getting around it about this. What's next for the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs? We've been talking about Justin Fields. Will Justin Fields, if Justin Fields starts week one, how Justin Fields needs to perform well in high pressure moments? I think Justin just need to be cool for the first moment of the game. But Justin has the ability to run. Maybe his accuracy is a lot average at times, but protection has been okay at times as well. So they just need anyone to step up. The offensive line needs to step up. I mean, forget about the old bodies. Forget it. I mean, this is every day when I talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, you might as well be it. The Kansas City Chiefs went 6-11 last year, and this year there's going to be another challenging season. Either it's going to be a challenging season or a resurgent season. The Chiefs snapped the division streak, Super Bowl streak, conference championship game streak, and winning season streak as well. So they snapped multiple streaks and end up missing the playoffs. The Chiefs ending up third place in the AFC West last year. This year, expect to be different. Although the schedule, Chiefs has a third place schedule this year. The Chiefs at home against their division, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos, AFC East, Jets, and the Patriots. Justin Fields could face the Jets in a revenge game if he starts, or again, it could be a revenge game for Justin Fields if he starts. And then you got the AFC South at home against the Colts. The AFC West at home will be the 49. The NFC West at home, it'll be the 49ers and the Cardinals. And then on the road, division road opponents, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos are definitely. AFC East on the road, Bills and the Dolphins. And then you got the NFC West defending Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks. And then you got the Los Angeles Rams. And then you got the NFC South opponent, the Atlanta Falcons. Chiefs will play the Falcons this year too. So, and then the AFC North opponent is the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's their Chiefs 2026-27 schedule. So let's see how this schedule will look like this year in 2026-27 season. That's going to be the key for this one. So let's see if Justin Fields could be week 1 starter if Mahomes doesn't make it in time in this one here. So Justin Fields is now a Kansas City Chief. So we'll find out if he starts or it will be a number 2 quarterback depth chart. We'll have to find out as soon as possible. Coming up next, we'll talk LeBron James versus Kevin Durant Part 1. Who won last night's contest? We'll have to find out. Also coming up, today is men's first 4 for 2 games today. There's 2 first, so 8 teams are in the first 4. There's 4 games in 2 days. And then Spurs battle the Clippers in SoCal. Who won the contest last night in Inglewood? And then we'll wrap things up with what's coming up in our next episode. We'll talk about that a little bit later as JDB's morning count develops. So hopefully we will continue this show's conversation. And this is our 49th episode of this show. So we're reached half part of the show as well. So we'll be right back. The Lakers battled the Rockets last night. I dare the Lakers try to remain the number 3 seed. The Lakers, neither team shot the ball well in the fourth quarter, but Luka Doncic Marcus Smart making big shots down the stretch. And DeAndre making big shots down the stretch as well. So the Lakers beat the Rockets 100-92. The season series is split at 1. They'll play one more time tomorrow night. Same time, same city in Houston. And Luka Doncic leads the way with 36 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. As the Houston Rockets struggled with turnovers. Not only they shot pretty decent, 48%. Not only they shot 19% from three-pointer, which is 5 of 26 for Houston. They commit 22 turnovers in an 8-point loss to the Lakers. So the question was it the great Lakers defense last night, or was it a terrible Rockets offense? So first of all, I'm going to go with the Lakers' good defense. The Lakers' defense played great yesterday. I know the Lakers' defense hasn't been good as planned this year, but J.J. Redick said the defense is going to get better game by game. That's going to be critical going to the playoffs. Like I said, someone said the Lakers have played their best basketball, and they have. And it has to start with the defensive end. And I don't care that you hold 48% from the field, but you did hold 19% from long range. Lakers held the Rockets to 19% from long distance, which is 5 for 26. Lakers, they went 8 for 34 from downtown, which is 24%. And shooting 44%. We know both teams struggled offensively in the fourth quarter yesterday. And you already know it. And Luka Doncic, with another 30-point game, continues to do an MVP resurgence. Now, when the Lakers are 43-25 on the season, you don't want to make this path a whole lot easier. Had the Lakers lost last night, they would have dropped. I think they would have dropped one spot below. The Rockets would have taken one spot ahead. But Lakers with a big win. So even if they lose on Wednesday and drop the season series, they still be the number 3 seed, but they're probably going to lose a tiebreaker. Or if the record goes identical by the end of the year. So it's still a chaotic Western Conference settings between 3 through 7. I mean, this is an opportunity you don't want to make this one out here. As for the Rockets, a terrible offense in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's been a terrible offensive second half, to say the least. It's been a terrible offensive performance overall yesterday. Kevin Durant only scored 18 points in this game. He had 16 in the first half, just 2 in the second half yesterday. They're not getting Kevin Durant an opportunity to get a ball. Not a lot of shooting attempts in the second half. The reason why the Rockets are potentially a first-round exit, Kevin Durant may not be your guy. Kevin Durant isn't your guy because he's frustrated. He wants the ball every time when the Rockets have the ball offensively. And those are the reason why they're not giving Kevin Durant the ball an opportunity. They double-team his ass. The Lakers have double-teamed Kevin Durant's ass. And what the hell just happened at the end? Damn, they end up turnovers after turnover after turnover after turnovers. But damn, the Rockets commit 22 turnovers. And who commit most of the turnovers? Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant surrendered 7 of their team's 22 turnovers. That is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. Coach Udoka cannot be happy with these turnovers in last night's 8-point loss. So when I look at this spot right now, the Rockets do not own tiebreakers with any of these teams except for the Timberwolves. See, what's the record look like as of right now in the Western Conference? Rockets will be still number 4. Nuggets play the Sixers tonight, so this is crucial. If Nuggets win and the Rockets lose the next day, then this could be interesting between Houston and Minnesota, who gets to the top 5 in the West. Whoever drops the 6th seed may be disappointing. Right now, the Rockets will play the Nuggets in the first round. Playoffs. It'll be Durant versus Jokic matchup. Suns are still in the mix for the top 6, even though they lost last night to the Celtics. Speaking of which, I want to talk this game right now. Suns and Celtics. Celtics beat the Suns 120-112. It was a fun basketball game yesterday. But the Suns do play the Wolves today. The second night of the back-to-back. They'll try to get a big win. Because Suns do have Timberwolves numbers this season. Devin Booker had 40 points. He was fantastic. Jaylen Brown even better. He had 41. So the Celtics are 45-23. They already clinched at least in the play-in position. So they got few other things to take care of down the stretch. Celtics will have to play the Warriors, then head to Memphis, then head back home against Minnesota. So if they can beat these teams, they could be in right now. For Phoenix, they got other things to take care of. They need how they can stay out of the play-in tournament. So even with the Suns win today, they'll be 40-29. They still, I believe, see around a game or a game and a half out of the number 6 spot. We don't know about that yet, but those are the teams that you're really going to ask for it. So this is what this difference is all about. You just want to make sure that these games is going to matter. Go back to the Lakers and Rockets. For the Rockets, they just need to play better. They need to play better tomorrow. If they don't, things will only going to get worse. So this is how chaotic the Western Conference standings is right now. So that'll be that. All right, what's coming up on JDB's Morning Cap? We'll talk March Madness for men's. Today's men's first four, who are the game. Both games will be on True TV. So we'll find out who is playing tonight in the men's first four. And also Spurs battles the Clippers in SoCal. It happened yesterday, so we'll find out who won the contest last night. We'll step away in about 3 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back here. Tonight, it is men's first four. It's official. So tonight, the West Region first four has number 11 Texas take on number 11 NC State. And the winner will face BYU in the first round. And then, so let's talk about that game first. So NC State and Texas will tip off between these two games. Tip off will start actually the first game. It'll be UMBC versus Howard, 16 versus 16 matchup. The winner will face Michigan in the first round in the Midwest region. So tip-off begins at 6:40 p.m. Eastern on True TV. So how these teams got here. Let's start with UMBC. How UMBC got to the tournament. UMBC makes the tournament for the third time in the program history. Okay, so UMBC beat Vermont in American East Championship game 34-59. Also, UMBC beat Virginia in 2018 March Madness, 16 beat number 1. So they'll try to get to this one here. And I think this team has a chance to be special, to be in this tournament. The matchups, the history of matchups is going to be good. But they got pretty good. UMBC has pretty good guards. They got top 2 offensive scorers on this team. But this is a critical stuff that you really want to face it. So And this is what this is all about because they felt like these teams they can really help for it. All right, how Howard got to the NCAA tournament. This is their fifth NCAA tournament appearance in their program history. Howard is tops in the conference in rebounds. They rebound really well. And they're also one of the most physical teams in MEAC conference. Howard 23-10 record. There are MEAC champions. They defeated North Carolina Central 70-63. Bryce Harris leads the team with 17 points a game, close to 7 rebounds a game. Cam Gillis averaged close to 5 assists a game. And Kenneth Blankney is the head coach of Howard. So I believe Howard has a chance to get some wins off that board. So they try to get some huge wins in the tournament. But what's their weaknesses for Howard? It's their 3-point shooting. Howard is not a good 3-point shooting team, so they got to fix that in the tournament if they want to advance to face Michigan on Thursday. All right, so the second game will be Texas versus NC State. Let's start with NC State. How NC State got to the tournament. NC State went 20-13 on the season. Yeah, this is their second meeting this year for NC State against Texas. Last time it was a thriller. Texas beat NC State on November 26th in Maui Invitational, 102-98. The team has won 5 of its last 15 games. So they'll try to get this thing cleaned up. But NC State does have a strong recommendation. They had a strong 3-point shooting. They're top 10. They're a very good free throw shooting team. That was their key notable strengths. But the biggest weakness is executing sustainable possessions. Can they take care of the basketball? Can they sustain possession? That's the key to move on to the first round in the tournament. But NC State Wolfpack has surprises everyone else this year. I mean, so we'll see how this is going to pan out here. As for Texas, how Texas Longhorns got to the men's tournament. So for Texas, they end up 18-14 record. Not the season for Texas they were looking for, but they did sneak out some wins. Losing 5 of its last 6 games. Despite the early exit, they're still one of the more dangerous teams in the tournament. But Texas was part of the last 4 into the tournament. So the biggest issue with her in Texas is for all season long. The reason why they struggle is their offense. They haven't shot the ball particularly well. The biggest red flag is their lengthening scoring droughts. The Texas Longhorns. The biggest red flag is their scoring their droughts and their 3-point shooting. They both struggle in that category as well. They struggle with turnovers, 3-point shooting, but they do rely on their free throws really well. They draw more fouls than anyone. So shooting percentage for Texas isn't that great. So this is a different story that I want to see it here in this one here. All right, who am I picking today? First matchup, UMBC versus. Oh, by the way, Texas NC State game begins at 9:15 approximately. 9:15 p.m. Eastern, approximate tip-off on True TV as well. Who am I picking between UMBC and Howard in the first game? I pick Howard. I think it's going to be a close, tightly contested. Texas and NC State. Well, I was going to say Texas in a convincing fashion. I do want Texas to win in a close one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring basketball game. It's going to be battle of the defenses for this one. I like Howard and Texas moving on to their respective rounds. So the winner between Texas and NC State will face BYU. The winner of UMBC and Howard will face Michigan. So that's that. We'll step it away. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back here. Last night, the Spurs battles the Clippers in Inglewood. Last time the Clippers played the Spurs, it was in San Antonio. Spurs came back in a big deficit and ended up winning it. Last night, the Spurs were up as many as 24 points after the Clippers were up as many as 14 points. The Clippers try to come back, but they end up Spurs victorious by 4 points, 119 to 115. Victor Wembanyama finished 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Meanwhile, Stephen Castle had 23 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. And Carter Bryant made a huge impact, 10 points, 5 rebounds. And then Devin Vassell made 4 3-pointers, scored 20 points, 4 assists for the San Antonio Spurs. So the Spurs picks up their 50th win of the season. So I know that's their first 50-plus win season for the Spurs since 2016-17 season. Kawhi Leonard was playing. Greg Popovich was still a head coach at the time. So the Clippers back to 500 with that loss, despite Garland scored 25 points in the game and 10 assists. He had a double-double yesterday. All right, so the question was, what is the next step for the Spurs after they pick up their 50th win last night? Well, the next step is try to get a 60-win piece and keep Victor Wembanyama healthy. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the next step. Can Victor Wembanyama be active on the court? That's going to be critical for the San Antonio Spurs going forward. So if that's the case, then there's a big chance they can get themselves into the position. But now, this is what even happens. You when you put yourself in a really good prime position to get into the playoffs, and that's that. There's no problem because you know how much we love San Antonio to be a very good basketball team. You really want to say this at all costs. You want San Antonio to be a stronger contender. They are a stronger contender with the Thunder. I trust the Spurs because I believe this young club can step the foot in this court every single time. So that will be that. This is a situation you have to make out of it. But if this is happening for them, suit yourself. Then there's your difference maker. There's your 100% difference maker, and then there's nothing else you can really worry about. It's a winning formula. It's a winning success. So that's what the Spurs how the Spurs can take the next step by going for after pick up their 50th win last night. When I look for San Antonio Spurs, when I'm looking for that schedule after last night, they got an easy game in Sacramento. Then they have a tough game at home against Phoenix. And then they'll play Indiana. That's an easy game. And then they're playing Red Hot Heat in Miami. Then at Memphis, struggling. They're not good this year. They're facing a struggling Spurs. The Spurs are facing a struggling Bucks in Milwaukee. Spurs are facing the Bulls at home. And then they're at the Warriors. And then they'll play the Clippers one more time on the road. They'll play the Nuggets on the road as well. And then they'll host the Sixers, host the Trailblazers, host the Mavericks, and host the Nuggets to end the year. So those are crucial games down the stretch. If the Spurs can win, they can beat. Spurs don't have to be perfect down the stretch. They just gotta win roughly 10 of their next 13 games to hang on to number 2 seed. If they need to win, they need to be no worse than 500 to drop out. So I think the Spurs will be okay. As for the Clippers, even though they lost by 4, there was some encouraging signs from the other guys. But Jordan Miller had 22 points off the bench. Ben McMatherin had 16 points. So that was a good sign as well for them. John Collins had 11 points and 9 rebounds. So there's some good signs for the Clippers. The only good sign is Darius Garland with 25 points and 10 assists. That's a good sign. The only not a good sign for Darius Garland, he only went 9 for 21 shooting. He did shoot 4 for 9 from 3 and 3 for 3 at the line. But he committed 8 turnovers. Darius Garland committed 8 of the Clippers' 13 team turnovers. So that is absolutely unacceptable. And 3 of those turnovers are alley-oop turnovers. 2 have gone out of bounds, and 1 of them have been a live ball steal. I mean, those turnovers, the second quarter turnovers have proved the Clippers costly. They struggled in the first half. They were in control in the first quarter, struggled the next couple of quarters. Whereas they could have won last night. They could have won. They were up as many as 14, and they end up losing by 4 points. The Clippers scored just 15 second quarter points comparing to Spurs' 37 second quarter points. And the Clippers were down as many as 24 before they rallied and back, and they're just unable to come through in certain stretches what they were looking for. So they commit 13 turnovers. And so they got out-rebounded by 15, 52 to 37 in favor of the Spurs. Clippers surrendered. The Spurs have 10 more offensive rebounds than the Clippers, 22 to 12. So defense rebounds 30 to 25 in favor of the Spurs. So rebounds, the Clippers have not done a good job rebounding the basketball last night. And that's been critical for them. They just cannot do what they're supposed to ask. So when I'm looking for the Clippers' schedule, they're at New Orleans tomorrow. Oh, they're playing the Pelicans for 2 straight days, tomorrow and Thursday, and then they got to go to Dallas on the 21st, and then back home against the Bucks, Raptors, and then head back on the road to play the Pacers, and then at the Bucks, then head back home against the Blazers, and they'll face the Spurs at home as well, and then they're at Sacramento, and then back home against the Mavericks, Thunder, and they're at Portland, and they'll end the season back at home against the Warriors. I think they should be okay. I think it's okay that can be in the play-in team. They're definitely a play-in tournament team, of course. It's just because they just don't feel like this team has stayed connected. They have stayed connected after the 6-21 start. So it's a pretty good sign to be in the play-in opportunity. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of its schedule. So this is what this difference is all about. You can't take away for anyone else. So this would have been it for that. So yeah. So the play-in tournament for the Clippers is going to be critical by going forward. We'll see how that plays out. So we'll see how this is going to work for this one. So we'll see what's going to happen here in this one. All right, let's close it out. All right, so what's coming up in tomorrow's JDB's Morning Cap? We'll recap today's first 4. Day 1, we'll preview first 4 day 2 as it looms. And then we'll preview the Lakers and Rockets part 2. The game is in Houston again. And then we'll update the Broncos wide receiver position. We'll find out who that is. Tomorrow, there was news today in Denver. We'll find out who that is. Tomorrow, I'll break all this down. So this is all that's going to happen at this point on. So we're still gonna talk about all that tomorrow's Morning Cap. So this is what happened. What we talked about today, we talked about Rockets and Lakers recap from yesterday's game. We're previewing the first 4 matchup today. We also talked about women's NCAA bracket revealed. And we talked about Justin Fields heads to Kansas City to back up for Mahomes. And we also talked about Spurs and Clippers today. So that was the topics we talked about today and that. All right, that's enough. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day.